Hi, I'm Grayson Keller from the Garden Group, and welcome to the greenhouse. Today we're going to get you started on your pandemic patch. These uncertain times, it's nice to be able to control something, and growing some seedlings is something you can control. A pandemic patch will bring you bounty all summer long, and it's fairly easy to get started. The materials that you're going to need today are soil, seed tray, watering can, pots, labels, and of course the seeds. Today we're going to be planting tomatoes and nasturtium. Nasturtium is an edible flower to be thrown in salads, and everyone knows what a tomato is. Nothing better than a warm tomato in the middle of the summer. Cut it right off the vine and throw it in a salad, throw it in your sandwich, or just pop it right in your mouth. We start by adding some soil to a nice modular tray. We don't need to have as nice of a modular tray. You can use toilet paper rolls, you can use newspaper, anything that will hold the soil in place for a seedling to start. We got this soil from Bartlett Farm. They're doing a great curbside pickup right now. Feel free to give them a call. They've got all the materials you might need to start this project. The soil is Coast of Maine, really quality stuff. As you're spreading the soil out into the modular tray, you want to make sure that there's good contact at the sides of each cell. You don't want these to fall apart when you go to transplant them up to a bigger size. So just give it a little bit of a push down, not too hard, not too soft. Any large chunks, you probably want to remove those. You don't have to, but makes it easier for the seed to grow. And there we are, ready to start seeding. Next step is you grab a dibber of some kind. You just use your finger too. I have a Sharpie. And you poke little holes into the cells. These little cells can be roughly 1/4 inch deep. If you're using a bigger seed like corn or even squash, really, you can go a little bit deeper. If you're using a smaller seed, you might want to go a little bit more shallow. That way it's not as difficult for the seed to kind of grow up to the surface. But typically 1/4 inch should do the trick. Next step is you're ready to sow some seeds. Starting with the tomatoes. Dump some out into your hand. And again, it's not a complete science. We're just going to pinch some up and try and fill each cell with 1 or 2 seeds. If you drop more than that in there, it's totally fine. You know, in these uncertain times, everyone wants to be with their friends. These seedlings do not have to social distance. I got these seeds online from High Mowing Organics. They're based in Vermont and really high germination rate. The next step is to close up the holes. Then you want to water it. Not too wet. You want it to be wet enough so that it's soaked through but not saturated. I'm going to take root off the red nose watering can, and then you put it off to the side. I have a heating mat, but it doesn't have to be a heating mat. As long as there's a little bit of sunlight and some consistent temperature, you'll get some good germination. Now we are ready to plant our nasturtium. Got the seeds from Bartlett Farm. It is Hudson Valley Seed Company, again, a really good company. And the process of sowing these seeds is about the same as the tomato. Just put the seeds in your hand. Again, don't worry about social distancing with seeds, and just plop them in each hole. You can see that these seeds are a bit bigger, so you can plant them a bit deeper. They're pretty vigorous, and these are, again, nasturtiums that are an edible flower that you can throw into salads or just throw into your veggie garden for some summer color. They're orange, they're sort of a peach color, they're yellow. And then they have a nice dinner plate foliage. Your final step is labeling. If you're like me, you're going to end up seeding a lot of different things, and when they start growing, you kind of want to know what they are. A lot of plants can look the same when they're first germinating. So here we are. We got the tomatoes over here. They are Brandywine. I also like to flip the label over and write the date that we did it, and then just pop it right in. So next up is nasturtium. Same sort of deal. Just label what you've got, put the date. You want to know how old your plants are, and then just pop it right in. And these labels I had in my secret stash, but you can order them online if you're just eager to get them and you need labels. You can always use last year's or a popsicle stick. The only PPP you need in this greenhouse is previously prepared product. These are the same exact tomatoes we just seeded. These are the Brandywines. They're not quite ready for transplant yet. You can tell by the roots in the bottom. They're there, but not quite ready. So instead, here's some sunflowers that we can test, and you can see plenty of root at the bottom, and it holds its form, staying together. So we'll pot those on. Moving on, you need the same materials from before, some nice soil and a seed tray. These pots are a little bit different before. They're 4 inches. We got them from Bartlett Farm, and we're always trying to reuse, reduce, recycle. So we're gonna save these from year on, year out and reuse them every time. Fill up the pot, press it down, not too hard, but make sure there's some room. Don't wanna put too much soil in there to begin with because you're trying to make a nice hole where you're gonna put your seedling into. Create some room. You want soil on all sides. Place it in there, and then pick your seedling out, and slightly take your finger and push at the bottom as gently as possible. Try and just tease it out of there. And you get a nice specimen. Plop it in, pinch it down just a bit, and then I always take a little bit of soil around the lip. You don't want it to be up to the brim because you want it to be able to accept some water. And then from there, ready to go. Just give it the old Rudolph the Red-Nosed watering can. Once you have your seedling in the 4-inch pot, it's probably about 2 or 3 weeks until it's ready for the garden. At that point, it's sort of a hurry up and wait, so come in and check on it periodically for watering. Hopefully, we'll never have to go through something like this again. But in the meantime, let's make the most of our time by creating this pandemic patch. You can call Bartlett Farm, get all the stuff where you need to go. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, and we'll help you through this, because gardening is something that will clear your mind and make you feel in control, and we all could use that right now. So sow your seeds and reap the benefits of the fruits of your labor for years to come.